Guys, Ryan Biddulph here, blogging from paradise and Periscopers. Let's switch it around. All eyes on me, as I like saying when both videos fire up. As they fire up, I look a little... No, I still look a little brighter there. And there's not a product placement for Raisin Bran, I believe, but I don't know. That's how we're going to roll. The one blogging lesson I learned in Central Park that will help you succeed over the long haul. And I'm not going to go as long with these videos, guys, just because here, I noticed yesterday, went in and out the connection for these Facebook Live videos. So maybe like 5-10 minutes. I always say that, and it ends up being like 20-25. But no, today I definitely will keep it shorter because you just can't quite keep the connection speed here. Upper West Side style. So we're enjoying our house sit so far, as we always do. We have the lovely Cooper, who makes his presence known sometimes. The House of Pinkerton will go traipsing behind me once in a while, which is really, really cool. Jed, thanks so much for joining. Searless, thanks so much for joining. So it's one of those deals, guys, where, hey, Praful, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining. And B, thanks so much for joining on Periscope. One blogging lesson I learned in Central Park that will help you succeed over the long haul. Now, yesterday, and I didn't include this on Facebook, I included it in my Periscope video intro. And that was, yeah, love back to you, bro. Really appreciate it. Much appreciate it. I ran about 7.5 miles last night at Central Park, and I've been bumping it up. Last week I ran 8 miles one day, 10 miles one day. I'm doing good. Can't complain. How you doing, man? And just been bumping it up. So last night I ran 7.5 miles. But there's something I noticed as I was running. I was doing like 3-4 miles, maybe 2, but like 3-4. And then I've been doing it really slowly, not from a space of like walking, obviously, but like a brisk jog. And, oh, muchas gracias. De nada. I'm trying to think of like something really profound to say. Provecho? No, I'm just joking. I'm just going to go like all over the place. But thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Para las palabras. Para las palabras. What, palabras word, right? Yeah, that's it. So, Aaron, thanks so much for joining, and I'm going to like that. Bienvenidos. So, I'm going more slowly this time, a lot more slowly, like a brisk jog, and I'm finding that my knees aren't sore, my calves aren't sore, my feet, and I just keep running more and more. So one day last week, I'm like, oh, let me just go to a far area in town. And turns out, I didn't have a mile marker in mind or like a distance. I ran 10 miles in a day, in the morning, with a couple little walk sessions of like maybe a minute, maybe like 2. So I was like, holy shit, it like really stunned me. So the other day when I was in Central Park, I'm just jogging along. Again, at the end of the run, 7.5 miles, nothing, like no problems. I probably could have run like 4 or 5 more, but I just want to slowly work my way up. But the thing is, as I run, I don't mouth breathe. I only breathe through my nose because this keeps me in the space of go slowly, don't force it. Use power, not force. Now, you have some of these people running by me. I swear to God, you think they're freaking water buffalo out in the rice fields of Vietnam. I mean, we're just talking like hardcore beast of burden. Push, push, push. Thanks so much for joining, Dennis. Really appreciate it. And just pushing themselves so goddamn hard, it looks like they're going to fall over. Now, I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong way to do things, but I've been that guy. You know, when I was a physique model and I did bodybuilding from a lower energy space of push, 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 a lot of these folks, and some don't, but a lot of these folks running-wise run into injuries, literally, and they have all types of issues eventually with their body because they burn out. And when you're doing things from a place of force, you're really going to push yourself beyond your limits, yes, but with that pushing, there's a fear there. Like the only reason to be pushing yourself to total exhaustion is you got to push, you got to work harder. And that's totally not true. And as these people are just, and again, I give them their credit. I know how they do, what they do, why they're doing it. I've been there. Matt, thanks so much for joining. But the deal is, guys, if you want to really, really kill it with your blog, think of how I do it. And since I've been running, I swear to God, not once have I done the mouth breathing bit over the past like 2 to 2.5, I guess like 2 months now. Not once. Everything through my nose. Calm, back up, relaxed, and just nose breathing, nose breathing. And some people probably look over and be like, what the frick? And I'm doing like a decent pace for a jog. It's not like I'm walking. like 7 miles, 10 miles. You know, this guy's in shape. And I'm like, no, I'm just not forcing it. But the funny thing is, when you don't force it and you don't push yourself and you do things more from a place of power, being pulled by something inspiring, by your intuition, by something just out there that's like, I'm pulling you through this force, instead of not being pushed, but instead of pushing yourself, you're going to go so much farther and have so much more success momentum with running, of course, but with your blog as well. And this is something that's so confusing to most bloggers who, you know, blow their freaking wad within weeks or months or even within a year or two, and they get totally burned out. It's because they're pushing themselves so hard, working longer, putting in more time, doing things from this place of force. And it's something I always say, the harder you work now, the harder you'll have to work down the road, because force negates. You'll literally work yourself. Mana, good morning. So good to see you. And again, thanks so much, Mana, Dennis, Aaron, Cyrillus, Praful. Thank you so much, everybody. And all you awesome folks, Timothy, on Periscope. So if you really are doing things from this space of these folks running by me, and some of them are flying by me, hey, that's fine, tortoise and hairbit. You know, I'm just in it for the long haul. And it's like I almost had a heart attack listening to them, but I'm just going along with my nose breathing. It's kind of like that whole idea of not from an ego space, but never let them see you sweat. And I'm in no competition, but I just use that mindset energetically. Not so much them seeing me sweat, but me not forcing myself to where I'm actually being out of breath. And, you know, Kelly's seen I'm just running more and more. In the past 3 runs, my past 3 longer distance days, which I've done, they've been distance days. I guess the 1 10-mile day, then the 8-mile day, then 7, I ran a marathon. Okay, 1 mile short, but 25 miles over my last 3 runs. And no knee problems, no soreness, no foot, no even tightness in my calves. It's insane. Hassan, MD, Silvana, thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. But why am I running this many miles out of almost nowhere? Because it was like 3 miles and I was doing it steadily. It was because the whole time I was always breathing through my nose. I was never forcing myself enough or pushing myself enough to mouth breathe. And when you do that, you could do this shit for the long haul, man. I could see myself running a marathon, running 26 miles within a month to a month and a half. And it's not because I'm training hard. It's because I'm training easily. And you just keep coasting. Now, blogging-wise, Abish, thanks so much for joining. Hope all is well, Turkey. Blogging-wise, you guys know the drill now. And you've seen what I've been doing with the guest posts and getting them out there and blog commenting. But it's all the energy behind that stuff. And these videos, and the Periscope, and the YouTube, and I'm on Steemit. And, you know, I appear to be everywhere, but it's because I'm not trying that hard. Now, I used to try really hard, and I burned out. And why did I burn out? Because I was like those folks at Central Park that just, so much of the energy here is just strain, strive, get ahead, push, push. I even saw the other day, or this morning, Kelly and I saw, you have the triathlon's going to be here on Sunday. And I wish it was earlier. I may have trained for it. But you see these sayings and these motivational slogans, and I think motivation is fucking bullshit. I think inspiration and being pulled through rather than pushing yourself. If you have to be motivated, you're in the wrong gig. That's just me. But anyway, you're seeing all these motivational slogans on the ground, and don't listen to your legs, and, you know, long and the short of it, just push the piss out of yourself. Roland, thanks so much for joining. And that's how you're going to succeed that's how you're going to place well or finish the race. And again, in New York, that's such a big push, this getting ahead and pushing and straining and striving, whereas I do things totally different, and Kelly does as well. It's an energy thing, so we're being pulled, not pushed. We're being pulled by something bigger, by that inspiration, by following the good feeling things, and we do uncomfortable stuff, and sometimes it's unpleasant. We don't force our way through it. It's a totally different energy. But I'm looking at these folks around me, and I'm thinking most bloggers are like these guys sucking wind. And some bloggers, they even have had worldly success. Howard, thanks so much, bro. Nice leg. No, that's okay. I like that. And those are good jammies. But if you are pushing like these bloggers and train, you know, well, I forgot the saying. It's been so many years. No pain, no gain. No, that's the exact wrong way to go energetically if you want to do this for the long haul and see real success. I'm not talking about blowing your wad quickly. I'm not talking about, you know, a flash in the pan. I mean someone who just increasingly becomes like omnipresent in your niche where you can't escape them. Hello. Uh-oh. Better watch out. So I think it's one of those deals where if you are really, really focusing on the long haul and you want to do it right, think about, yo, H Money, baby. What's going on, bro? If you want to do this over the long haul and succeed with it and appear to be everywhere and just enjoy the ride more than anything, Samir, thanks, what you want to do is think about the folks in Central Park and the ones that are huffing and puffing, even the ones that are, really moving along and they're ripped and they're runners and this and that. And then once in a while I'd see these other folks, and some older, some younger, who are more like me, breathing through the nose, not the mouth breathing, not forcing, and they're just going and going. Exactly, Howard. Any niche, any facet of life, you just got to think long haul. So go slowly, patiently, relax. Me and a couple other nose breathers were going along fine, and they were in shape. And you don't have to do that. And I'm not trying to, like literally, you see, I do have these pipes coming in at 42, and this running, and I'm just starting now. It's you could do this and do it at that pace and still be cut and still be ripped and still be in shape. And if you think about it, how many folks can you say right now, drop of the hat, to go run 10 miles or power jog? And of course, not many. And you see other people like, man, I got to get to 10 miles. So this week, that force, the straining and striving, it's all fear-based. And when it comes from a place of fear, you're going to burn out and you won't be in it for the long haul. But when you take your time and go slowly and patiently, the success momentum builds and you won't get burned out. Ravindy, thanks so much for joining. And you'll take your time and you'll be the successful person that's doing things more from a place of inspiration and love and fun. And you'll be nose breathing. And everybody around you will be mouth breathing, and then they drop off and blogging so hard, or I had some success and I got sick of it, it got too tough. And it's getting easier for me every day. It is uncomfortable at times, certainly it is. But I don't try to blast through the discomfort. I'm not just push through and I'm looking at these slogans on the ground, I'm ready to puke. I'm like, this is not it, guys. When you're doing it from the right energetic space, you'll just keep going. And it's not pushing yourself. It's being pulled through uncomfortable things slowly and patiently. That's where the brilliance happens. That's where the genius happens. That's where people are like, where the frick do you get that energy? Where you're doing all this. But I'm not doing all this. I'm just being. And it's uncomfortable sometimes. But when you're just doing the nose breathing, let me take my time, it'll keep building. I'm more about thinking next week, next month, next year, rather than thinking right now, as hard as you can. Because I know I'll still be going then. Not dwelling too much in the future, but I'm like, just take my time in the moment. And there's a brilliant piece of an enlightened piece of advice. And I just think, and I know sometimes I turn in the other direction, and we all do, but somebody once said, I forget who it was, probably somebody very wise. It was somebody very wise. Act like in this moment you'll live forever. And I'm like, wow, does that really put not this fear-based, it's going to end, and you're an infinite being, so what would you do now? What would you be now? And I'm like, wow, then I could slow down and relax. And it's like, when you move into that type of, godly, lowercase g, energy, then things really start to pop, and you're like, oh, I just wrote 5 guest posts yesterday, but it was nothing. And I don't even care what comes out of it. And then you're releasing the expectation, you're training for appreciation, like Tony Robbins says, and you're just running and being and doing the videos. And I have Mile High Radio at 12 o'clock. I don't know if it's live, though. Is that stuff live, Mile High Radio? It may or may not, but whatever. I'm going to have an interview on Mile High Radio pretty soon, Kelly, a while back, but 12 o'clock today, but I don't know if it's going to be live or not. They might tape it, but either way, keep an eye out for it. But I have that in an hour and a half, and I'm sweating already, and it's so much fun because I'm nose breathing. And I'm succeeding over the long haul. And I'm enjoying the ride. And I'm doing that with my running. And again, 10 miles now, 8 miles, 7.5 last night, no sweat, nothing. An easy 12. I know I could have done 12, but I'm like, just take your time with it. You don't need to push it to 12, 14 and have your knees go out and your calves. And that's how I used to do it with bodybuilding and all that stuff. It's not the way. They are energetically off. And you might look at all these examples and you have to push, and it's nope. Slow and steady, that's for the long haul. And the same exact thing for blogging, man. When you do this slow and steady and you're taking your time, you're doing guest posting, blog commenting, you're checking the energy behind it, following your passion with your blog, not forcing it, publishing a post maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks if you're just kind of getting there. David, thanks so much for joining. Then you're going to see that slow momentum, and then the momentum builds and it builds. You have that energy, and all these other people will be like those moths that hit the light, and they go in and out and they burn, and then you're just going to be going. Guys, that's it for today. I'm going to get out of here because I think we've actually been up the whole time on Facebook, which is awesome. Call to action. Stop by my blog and listen to today's podcast. I talk about common travel blogging or any blogging. mistake I'm seeing being made way too much. And it's a real quick podcast. It's literally like 2 minutes. It's a very, very informal endeavor where it's like boom, boom, boom. You just hop in 2 minutes, listen to it, and then what you do is you comment on those, share the blog. And then, yeah, make sure you buy my latest ebook, 15 Ways to Make Money Blogging. I think that's the name of it. Yeah. And it just shows you different channels, income streams that you could open if you're a little confused in the area. So definitely buy that on Amazon. Share it with all your buddies. And then, yeah, when you're in there, grab a couple more ebooks because I have 124 of them, and they're really, really helpful and fun and inspired. I go into travel stuff, inspirational stuff, all this good stuff. Guys, that's it for today. Stop by bloggingparadise.com. Going to roll, get this up on YouTube because it's rocked so far, I believe. Thanks so much. David, Howard, Mana, IB, Silvana, everybody, Hassan, MD, Periscope folks, thanks so much for joining. Until next time, you know what to do. Enjoy paradise.